Hello, all you viewers. This is Ben C, and today this is part two of my E.D.C. power tool slash hand tool carry whatever overview, I guess. This is more of sort of like personal crafts, or when I need to quickly whip out a cut off disc. I actually got the Dremel brand three jaw Jacob's chuck for my Black & Decker pecker wrecker, and yes, I am. I have some vulgar jokes for those who are older. You probably might know what that means. Yeah. But anyways, so this is, it's a pretty good one. I got this brand new. It's had a little bit of use, though obviously it looks, yeah. I do apologize about the fugly orange, the fugly orange color and whatnot. I got some problems with lighting. Lighting sucks balls. But yeah, no. This is, it came with a carry bag that I store this in. When I got this, it came with the collet, but the collet sucked. Let's just say that. It was an absolute nightmare. And especially if I put it on properly, it was a pain in the rear end to remove the accessory that was within the collet, because, it used friction, and I will show you now. So, here is all of the accessories that have survived the use. I used to have a plastic cut-off wheel, but eventually that shattered. Just snapped in two one day. I was trying to use it, and it went snap. I'm like, okay, well, there goes that. But I have two reinforced metal cutting discs. I do have, let me get these out of here. It's got the easy lock system with these ones. I also have the horrific ones that break if you so much as tap them the wrong way. I got that. I got a little rubber for the sander discs, or sanding drums, I guess. Yeah, sanding drums. I got my last buffing wheel with the buffing threader on. Buffing shaft, I guess. So I got 180 to 220 to 240 grit sandpaper. Sorry. I don't know the grits of these. I'm sure I could find what the grit is, but these are sort of been mixed up with different, the Black & Decker with the, yeah, so. I also have steel wire wheels, or steel wire brush wheel, which needs a replacement as it's gone by the wayside. Steel wire cup wheel, some diamond tip bits. I got this funky shaped, I can't remember what these are, like for grinding, I think. But I got the funky diamond shapes, and I also got the engraving, I think, tool. And then I got the easy remove thing, which also fits on my Black & Decker, though for some reason this specific one doesn't work with this specific, I mean, it says it's compatible, but whatever. Well, I guess then again it does say it's compatible with most. But yeah, here's the collet and the collet chuck, I guess, technically, I don't know. The collet and the collet holder, I guess. But often Here, 1 second. Alright, here we go. So often when a tool or like, alright, so let me see here. So I'm going to grab this one. So you'd have to slide it in like this, slide it in, slide this on, and whatnot. Often if I properly tightened it down, if I tightened it down nice and tight, it would get stuck like, you know, it would get just about stuck to the collet was stuck, was almost like coming through into this, so it would, you know, and it, trying to pull this off, if I can't push it forward, and I can't push it back, you know, I'm trying to pull it backwards because I can't push it forward to pull this off, and that becomes a bit of a problem. See? So, like, because, like, you know, if it's already nice and tight on the collet, it makes it harder to remove it, and I'm actually struggling with that right now. But that's one of the reasons I switched to the Jacob's Chuck accessory, which is a very good chuck and very good to have in general, because sometimes you don't want to use a collet. Collets are very good. They're actually much more precise than just Jacob's chucks, or chuck, 3-jaw chucks, or yeah. But for the most part, whenever I use it now, I just, you know, use this. Yeah, that's basically it for my Dremel. So yeah, just a second, and I'll pull out the next power tool. Okay, so the last power tool that I'm going to be showing, as it's the last one that I can think of that I have, is going to be my soldering station. It's a pros kit. It's not quality by any means, but it gets the job done. It's got the sponge, the 20 watt to a 40 watt, and then, you know, it's a two-way thing. It works for what it is. It's good. It's got a fairly nice stand. Some people hate this. They think it's fugly, or I don't know, but I like it. I think it works, and whatever. I won't deny it is annoying with the weeble and the wobble. But yeah, I mean, works, and it's fairly good. I've got an extra tip, or I've got this tip that's my main use. It's not been used much, but this is what happens with heat, and these get extremely hot, and they're supposed to be heat, supposed to accept a lot of heat, so that's why it looks kind of old, but it isn't. I have the pokey tip, but it's sort of, I tinned that when I first got it because that's what came with the iron. But probably later on down the YouTubery rabbit hole, I'll probably make a video on what tinning is and why you should do it, or why you need to do it for soldering irons. Yeah, so, oh, no, actually I still have one more power tool, I guess, two actually, but technically, so, another pros kit, USB 8 watt, USB soldering iron, 5 volt I think, 5 volt, 8 watt, USB powered soldering iron. It is it's not a battery operated. You can hook it up to a battery, one of those phone charger batteries, but it's is bizarre, but it uses a headphone jack style connector. So it's like, to me that's bizarre. Why would you use a headphone? But I mean, then again, it's technically you could use it in the car and click it up to the auxiliary port. I'm not saying to do that. I'm just saying I think that would work. I wouldn't do it, but if you had no other choice, that might work. So yeah, but yep, that's that. And oh yes, and this is this is a nice little iron. It is by no means for big jobs. It's, you know, quick, fast, in a hurry. And last power tool of sorts, I guess. Technically, it could be considered just a hand tool, but it's electrically powered, so my digital multimeter, I actually bundle it with alligator clips because they don't make alligator clip prongs for this one. So I just basically click these two, the black to the black and the red to the red, and I have stable connections right there. So yeah, this is a handy little one. Unfortunately, it doesn't have continuity testing, so that's a pain in the arse. But other than that, it's pretty good. It's a cheapo one, but it works for what it is. So yeah. Now on to my hand tools. Okay, so let's start off with hand tools. So this is I should probably start off with actually this is my Craftsman, hold on one second. There we go. This is my Craftsman electronics repair kit, my first version of the electronics repair kit, which for what I needed at the time was reasonably good. It's got a T10, a T8 for Torx. This when somebody says T8 or something, that's a Torx. The T8 and T10 are the only two that have a hollow point, which is just basically for security Torx. There's normal Torx and then there's security Torx, which is like a Torx but with a little pin in the center. And so you have to have a hollow point Torx. T8, T6, so we're missing a T9 and a T7. This is how it came though, intentionally, I guess. T5 and a T4. And then a 5-wing, which is, I think, this one. This is like a 5-wing, or an S2, I guess, whatever an S2 by, so it's a 0.5, it's a 5-bit. It's a 5-wing bit instead of a Torx style. Tri-wing is 00, I think, or no, 2. Number 2 tri-wing? I'm not sure, but it's probably it's a 0 tri-wing. I think it's not a big one. It's Phillips 0, and then a Phillips 0, triple O 0, or Phillips, yeah, and then a bladed driver, which is like ridiculously tiny, and you can't even see that. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, and then it came with one larger pry bar and another pry bar. This sucks donkey balls. This is absolutely garbage. Do not use the one that comes with this if you get this one brand new, which I don't think you can because it was a Sears Craftsman one. So I don't think you can get this anymore unless it's secondhand. Don't use the suction cup. It doesn't work at all. But it comes with a suction cup that's designed to supposedly help you with pulling off the screen or whatever, lifting the screen without whatever. And then it also comes with a SIM tray ejector key, as well as the driver itself, which is an all aluminum body. I think it's an aircraft aluminum. I'm not sure, so we'll just say that it's a machined aluminum. Let me put this down here. And it's extendable, so it can be like this. Hold on. This, or position 1. So you can have it all the way out here, or you can have it all the way in. And this does spin. Mine I accidentally popped out, but that was unintentional. That it's not the quality that was a problem. It was what I was using it for, or I don't remember exactly. But so I had to whack it back in, and then it came. I put it in crooked, sort of, I had to pull it back out, added some oil while I was in it, and popped it back in finally, and it's, as you can see, it's still sort of not fully in there, but whatever, you know. It is fairly good. I don't care too much for it because of the fact that it's not quite the right shape for, at least for my hands. When I'm using it like a normal driver, you know, a normal screwdriver, fine screwdriver, that's alright, but it's definitely not for my hand size and shape. I mean, it is good though. It is a very good driver. And then next up on the, and then I have a nice little Phillips multi-head driver. This is a slotted 1/8 and a Phillips 0, and then a slotted, let's see here, 3/16 and a Phillips 1. So there's a Phillips 1 and a slotted 3/16, excuse me, and Phillips 0 and 1/8. This is a nice little tool. This is actually fairly handy. Yeah. And then up next, we have this, which is a 77-piece kit, which it's got like everything. It's got the kit and caboodle, everything, you know. It's got tri-wing to hex, security hex to, actually no, not security hex, but security torques all the way to, from, alright, let's see here, let me see, we got security torques all the way down to a T7 up to a T20, T7, T8, T9, T20, or T10, T15, T20. You can see this is what I mean by hollow point. There's, you know, the center of it's missing. It's got slotted bits. It's got this special security type bit. It's got normal torques without the hollow point. It's got little sockets, which is adorable. And you know, it's got the tri-wing. It's got the square drive. It's got the posi drives. It's got the hexes. It's got the Allens. I mean, it's got yeah, it's got the triangle, and it also has a very nice, for what I was expecting these to be either cheapo plastic that looked really good, really close to metal, or really chitty sort of metal tweezers. Hold on, oh, there we go. But they're actually a fairly nice set of tweezers. It's actually a fairly nice set, and I was not expecting that. I was quite happy. This suction cup actually does work. This I would recommend. But it also came with the little pick, little guitar pick looking thing. It came with a Phillips number 3, Phillips 2 in here, Phillips number 2 bit in the screw. There's no space anywhere else, unless you were to throw it in loose. But it's got a magnetizer, demagnetizer. Technically, if you want to get technical, it's 4 pry bars, 2 at each end, or 1 at each end, but it counts them as 2 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4 down here. But it also comes with the SIM card SIM card tray release key. This one is much nicer. I actually like it. It works better in my hand. I haven't had a chance to test it though. But so there's the precision stuff, and yeah. All right. Now for this one, this I didn't. Oh well. Okay. So we also got my blue removable Loctite, little thread locker Loctite, blue Loctite. But this is technically, you could consider using my means of classifying tools. You could consider this a power tool, but due to the fact that there is a mechanical and this digital, there's a digital and then there's a mechanical style. Well, actually, originally started off with a mechanical style and then worked its way to a digital. And so that's the reason I count this as a hand tool. So yeah, it's metric, inches. It's got inches and fraction and decimal, and then metric, fraction, inch and fraction, and then metric. This is a 6-inch caliper. 6-inch caliper. And these are. This is actually my machinist approximeter. I'm in the trade school, learning to becoming a machine and I'm taking up the role of a machinist, sort of learning to become a machinist. And as you can see, using the box here, you can see how it goes. If I press a little bit fairly hard on these, it goes to like 0.085. So 0.08, we'll just say, and then this is, we'll just say 0.0845 or 5. So it's not something you should take. It's something you should take the measurement with a grain of salt, sort of thing. You take it with a grain of salt. Don't completely trust it. If you need something more precise, use micrometers, which are, depending on if you want to get actually trustable ones, that's all up to you on the price range if you decide to start machining. But there's that, and then so those. Usually I keep my calipers. I always take my calipers because it's very helpful, even if they're not the most precision tool. But now moving on to my hand tools, my rough and tough hand tools. This is technically an electrician's hip pouch, but I wasn't sure where I should put that for the moment at the time, so just slid it in here. But it's sort of like my multi-everything kind of thing. Here's my multimeter, a flashlight with a magnetic ring and another magnet at the other end, and a telescoping / bendable wand inside. This, I've had this for years. This has never failed me once. Same with, I actually have 2 of these. I found one, I don't remember where I found the second one, but one of them was out in the backyard one year, sometime when I moved into my apartment complex. But this is, this is made in the U.S., and it's a Craftsman, and it's never once failed me. So I also have some Strandly, which this I like because it's much finer. It's almost like a Phillips O0, but not at the same time. I know it's weird. And then here's the number 2 Phillips, which it's not. I definitely wouldn't want to use it as my only hand driver. That's a definite. I would rather use But so here's they're sort of like dental picks, but they're actually, I think, O-ring picks. As you can see, these have had some wear and tear on them. This one, well, first of all, this one's pretty fugly. Looks like something happened to it because it got, I think most of these I had to use a few of them except for this one, I think. This one's, I think, for the most part, fine. But this one got stuck in a machine at one point. It, got jammed in and bent, so that stayed the way it was. That's not bad, though, for picking stuff like that, but this was supposed to be straight. I forget what happened with this, but I think it bent because of something. I don't remember. This obviously was supposed to be sort of at a right angle. It technically is, but it's also technically not. So yeah, these are praise. I think Praz. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's I got them at the Ocean State job lot, I think. They weren't bad. I can't seem to find that anymore, the Praz stuff anymore, really. So I wouldn't really waste your effort on looking for them because I can't even find them, and I go to the store physically when I do need to. Whenever I go there, I look because there was a fair bit of good tools. I have another Praz thing, but it's not here. This is my Fap-Off needle nose pliers or long nose pliers or poke your eye out pliers. These are snap-on. These are very nice. They're very old as well. Made in the U.S., which actually Snap-On's not many Snap-On stuff is made in the U.S. anymore, which is kind of stupid. But this is 90. I think it's number 97. I'm not sure, but as an old Snap-On logo, this is old. This was my grandfather's. He was, as I said, he was an auto mechanic, and auto mechanics, swear by Snap-on. So, and he had a ton of really old Snap-on stuff, and it was really good. The keyword being was. Nowadays it's not that great, but whatever. This is sort of a diamond pattern here, where instead of just like this teeth, it's like a diamond pattern. So that's good. It does unfortunately only go to I'd say about a third of the jaw. It's only about a third of the plier tip, third of the tip, and then the rest is just flat. Nothing. There's no wire snip on one side. There's no, So that's unfortunate, and it doesn't close. The entire thing doesn't completely close. Let me see if I can get that. Yeah. See. Obviously it closes at that end, but these are some really nice tough pliers, so I keep those. I've got these because if I don't have as much wiggle room for putting those nice more fine pliers in there, I use these. I've had these for years. They've worked well. They've served me well. They used to have a grip on them, like a blue outer grip, and then a yellow sort of under grip. I removed it because it was rust was starting to get under there, and I didn't want to risk any moisture build up, and one day I accidentally go to grab them and they, squeeze them, and the handles just disintegrate. Because, stuff happens, and I've forgotten these outside plenty of times. So as you can see, because by the wear, these are old. They're worn to the point where they actually are sort of bent. Instead of closing fully, they sort of bend out like that, as you can kind of see. That, and they've got a bit of a weeble on the wobble. Let me see if I can show that. These aren't nearly as bad as another pair I have, which is actually slightly finer point, but those are so fine point and they're so wobbly that those are in my spare. That's in my spare thing. I also have some genuine, before Irwin got, this was made in the U.S. still, genuine vice grips, whatever, I can't remember, but made in the U.S. Vice grips, vice grip. These are the genuine needle nose vice grips. Now, obviously, these were also my grandfather's. So he gave them these quite a pounding, and they're still kicking. They take a licking and keep on ticking. But yeah, no, these, they've taken some abuse, but they're still good. Other than the fact that, I don't know if you can see that, but let me see here. There's a weeble wobble on the bell end. Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. So other than that, they're pretty good. So there's that, and then so that's my poking and prodding bits. I have a level with a magnet, a groove, a cutout groove, notch, whatever, with all the wibbly wobbly bits, the level. Wire strippers / cutters. I don't recommend these. I used to prefer these until I discovered these, even if you get the nice quality ones, these suck compared to, it's a funky style. It's like you slide the wire in and you squeeze them and it pulls so I highly recommend those. I don't have those, but I'm intending to get them because those are so much better. There's like barely any risk of it cutting some of the actual copper wire or whatever and whatnot. But for now, these are, with me, these have a lock, though it doesn't really like to work well, but whatever. These are some Stranley, and the wire gauges. These I don't know what these whole bitty bits are for, but they don't work as crimp holes for crimping, obviously. But, I don't know if that's supposed to be for crimping or what, but yeah. These work for now. These work though. If you can't afford the other ones that I suggested, these definitely work. Something like this works very well. You want to make sure that it's a nice one, not one of those. You don't want it to be like flat, like you find at the dollar store. Do not get those. If you try and actually like strip a wire or something, they're garbage. And the ones I used to have a pair, and I had to wrap electrical tape around the handles just to keep them from digging into me, and that still didn't work. That's how garbage they are. Now, apologies, I have a cat and a mostly carpeted house, or apartment, but these I've had for years. These were in the same kit as these. As you can see, these have taken a licking and they keep on ticking. Same with the needles, need nose. But as you can see, these have worn. These are very, very worn. If you look here, you can see there's like nothing left. As I said, these have taken a beating. I do need to replace these. The same grip that was on these was also on these, but there was rust spreading into them. And so, yeah, they're slip joints. These are pretty good. There will be a part 3 for this, but this is what the grips used to look like, or the grips, the handle grip on these, and the needle nose and the pliers looked like. Obviously they were a little bit rattier than this, but this is also from the same set. This is diagonal cutters, wire cutters, whatever you want to call them. Some people call them some things. I call them wire cutters, wire snips, diagonal cutters. I don't usually use that term, but I've only had to sharpen these once, and so these are going to stay for a long, long while. These are going to continue to stay with me. These are going to eventually be circulated out for some nicer ones. But yeah, so please like, share, and subscribe, and there will be a part 3 coming very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.